Goonie, as I like to call him, could have easily died in the summer of 2005. The 18-year-old was only a few months away from making his PBR debut. Mauney had a knot the size of a volleyball in his stomach after a 1,500-pound bull stepped on him in Raleigh.
J.B Mauney said no. Fate said no. Only history will tell where J.B falls amongst the greats.
13 years later, and that once tall, lanky, and tattooed kid by the name of J.B Mauney is now the face of professional bull riding.
J.B Mauney, a legendary name in the bull riding world, is known for his conquering the most ferocious bulls in the industry. But have you ever wondered what his life is like outside the chaos of a rodeo? Is he just as fearless and determined off the bull as he is on it? In today's video, we'll take a deep dive into J.B Mauney's lifestyle and uncover the lesser-known aspects of the iconic cowboy's life, from his personal relationships to his routine at his ranch. Where it all started. James Burton J.B Mauney was born on January 9, 1987 in Charlotte, North Carolina. He was born into a family that was heavily into farming and had established a large farm in the 1820s. So, from the beginning, he grew up around all kinds of farm animals, including bulls. During a certain period, this farm only consisted of cows with about 300 cattle ranches and dairies. However, due to an increase in textile mills in the nearby areas, farming began diminishing and ranching ended up becoming a side hobby for most people. Mauney's grandfather and father both worked at these mills. Tim Mauney, J.B.'s father, was also an amateur steer wrestler who would take part in the local rodeos whenever he got the chance. He was such a lover of the sport, sometimes when there weren't enough riders, he would change his cowboy hats and go on multiple rides to entertain the crowds. Mauney and his family would often visit rodeos on the weekends, and that's where his love for bull riding began. Initially, he was offered to participate in the mutton busting events where children around the age of 5 to 6 would ride on the back of a sheep till they were bucked off. But Mauney was having none of that. He knew from the start he wanted to ride bulls, and that's exactly what he did. During his youth, he preferred to spend most of his time participating in outdoor activities. In high school, he would often skip his classes and work at a cattle sale barn, and would even get caught bunking when his class would take a field trip to the barn. He would also spend his weekends and most of his summer breaks at his mentor Jerome Davis's ranch. During his time at the ranch, he and other aspiring cowboys would pick up the trash and set up the arena for rodeos. Mauney loved spending his time there and would even stay for long periods of time, ending up crashing on the living room sofa or the old bunk room. By the time Mauney had turned 15, he had made his mark in the bull riding industry, winning himself a junior title. He also went on to win $10,000 in the first event he ever entered. However, tragedy struck when he was badly stomped on by a bull. This resulted in the doctors ordering him not to participate in any bull riding activity for the next 8 months, because if he suffered another blow by the animal, it could have killed him. Since he was out of work during this time, in order to earn some money, he went to work at a ball bearing plant, burning through each shift. Soon enough, he realized he couldn't do it anymore, and instead of completing his entire 8-month recovery period, he went back to bull riding in 4 months. Mauney's family life. In 2007, while in Vegas for an event, Mauney met Samantha Line, daughter of one of the most recognized cowboys from the 70s, Phil Line. However, they were both on different paths of life during that time, with Samantha's focus on a career as a barrel racer, and Mauney just starting off what ended up being one of the most celebrated careers in bull riding history. Following his split with Samantha, Mauney faced quite a few challenges in his personal life. He distanced himself from his family due to a business dispute. A brief fling with a woman in 2011 resulted in him having a daughter named Bella in 2011. The following year, he got married to Lexi Wigley, but the two separated after just 2 years. In 2015, Mauney rekindled his relationship with Samantha, and in 2017, the two tied the knot. After a long struggle to have a child, the couple welcomed their son Jagger in 2019. Workout and diet. Have you ever wondered what the greatest cowboy of recent times eats to maintain his slender physique and what his workout regime looks like? Well, you're going to be disappointed to hear this, but he's practically allergic to the gym, and his diet, it's even worse. Yet, he managed to dominate bulls that were 12 times larger than him. According to Mauney, his workout regime was riding a bull. The only exercise he does is standing on a medicine ball, which actually comes from his childhood when he was taught how to balance on an 1.5 inch wide plank in order to build core strength so he could easily ride bulls. During an interview with the Washington Post, Mauney boasted that the only time he had ever been on a treadmill was because of a bet, which he ended up winning. You might think, so what if he doesn't work out? He must be eating protein-packed meals and green salads to gain all that strength he's showcased all these years. However, that's the furthest thing from the truth. His meals consisted of corn pops and Uncrustables. He would drink 4 cups of black coffee in the mornings, and during the night, he would quench his thirst with beers and Jägermeister. Michael Laws, a family friend of Mauney, joked the most exercise he got was lifting a can. But that's just how Mauney was. He had an I don't care kind of attitude, which he says he could have handled better. Life at the ranch. In September 2023, after being tossed into the mud by a bull named Arctic Assassin, which resulted in Mauney breaking his neck, his distinguished career came to an abrupt end. In late 2020, the family purchased a property in Stephenville, Texas, and in 2022, they relocated there and continued to live at the property. Mauney claims the land had nothing on it except for a trailer with a tin roof. They worked on it and made it into the ranch it is today. One of the first things he did after retiring was to buy the very bull that landed him in the position he was in at the time. He called up Arctic Assassin's owner and asked whether he could purchase the animal. When he was questioned as to why, Mauney claimed he wanted to say that he was the last guy who ever rode him. The bull stays at the Stephenville property, away from the bucking ring, retired in a blissful state with acres of land to gallop around on. Most of his post-retirement life is spent looking after the animals at the ranch. It's also a big part of his recovery from when he broke his neck. Samantha told the Washington Post he goes to work and gets outside, and he feels so much better. Other than that too, as mentioned before, Mauney is a lover of the outdoors. Spending time with the animals is what he knows best, so integrating that into his routine is crucial for someone like him. Furthermore, he also utilizes his time to make up for lost time and spend time with his family, running around the ranch with his 5-year-old. Mauney also allows aspiring bull riders to come practice on the bulls at his ranch. Once the cowboys leave, he goes to feed the animals in the evening. Starting with Arctic Assassin, who spends his time on the upper pasture of the ranch in peace and quiet away from the other animals. He makes his way towards the other animals and feeds them as well, oftentimes joined by his son. He was recently asked in an interview whether he sees himself as a bull breeder in the future, providing and selling bulls to fight for the championships. He stated that it could be a possibility and that if he does come across a bull that's worth going into the sport, he would definitely sell it. As for what the future holds for J.B. Mauney, in February 2024, it was announced that he would be joining the newest PBR team, the Oklahoma Wildcatters, as their head coach. It will be interesting to see what the future of bull riders looks like now that the greatest in the game would be teaching them his tricks. And that's all we have for today's video. Let us know your thoughts in the comments down below. What do you think about the iconic Cowboys lifestyle? If you enjoyed the video, do give it a like and don't forget to subscribe.